Okay, yeah, that's me. So my name is Vera, and I was born and raised here in Hong Kong. I'm now 36 years old. I'm a mother as well. So the story of Robin really touches me. And I'm also a sexuality educator. But today, we're not going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about our most intimate partner in our life, our body, and my body in particular. Yes, that is my body up there on the screen. Yay. Yeah. So let's do a little exercise. So since we're talking about the body, I want to do a little exercise with you guys. Let's say in the morning when you go out, before you go out, you see the mirror. What do you think about your body? Think of 3 words right now. Okay. So for most of us, whenever I go to college or even high school to do this kind of body positivity talk, most people will say, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm old, or some people may be really upset about the tiny little mole on their face. So remember those 3 words you said about your body, and were those negative or were those positive? Let's give a raise of hand. It's okay, like we're all safe here. So we're negative? Yeah? Mostly, yeah? Positive? Yeah? There's no right or wrong, but when we do a lot of body talk with ourselves every single day, right? So when you say something negative to your body, how does your body feel? And when you say something positive, how does it feel too? Think about that. Most of us, because we're the byproduct of our culture, we at some point in our life will have some sort of body dissatisfaction. For some people, it might be their single eyelid. For some people, it might be their stretch mark. And for some people, their skin tone, their wrinkles, some pigmentation. And for me, it's my weight. So today, I'm going to take you on a little journey of my story and how I came out of it. So this is me. That's my mom. Do we look alike?
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same. And the smaller one is my younger sister, and the one in the pink Hawaiian shirt is me. So my mom, me, and my sister. So when I was growing up, I think this picture was taken when I was probably 6 years old or 5 years old. I had a nickname. My mom would call me 大嚿飯, which means a big ball of rice. And my sister has another nickname, and her name is 細細粒, tiny little thing. So ever since I was little, I always thought that I was big, because I'm the 大嚿飯, I'm the big ball of rice, right? And whenever we have tea time at home, you came home from school, we play around a little bit, and then at 3 o'clock we'll have下午茶, afternoon tea. And my mom, she will open the snack drawer, and then she will take out the biscuits, and then we will eat a couple ones, and then she will say, don't eat too much, you will gain weight. So my mom was my very first body police. And then enter my teenage year. So by the way, I'm really quite tall, right? So whenever I go into a school, into a class, I'm always the tallest girl. So it kind of follow the path. I'm the big ball of rice, I'm the tallest girl in the class. And I got into my teenage year, I was in high school, and I was sitting in the in the front row. I don't know why, but the teacher let us choose to sit wherever you want. So I sat in the front, and then some boys were sitting behind me, and every single day they would say, she's like a mountain. She's 好似嚿山咁, she's a mountain. She's blocking my view. All these kind of things. And those boys were my second body police. And one day, my best friend, like the girl, I cover her face because I don't, no consent, so I don't show photo. So, so she came to school, and then we had lunch, and then she was like, I was reading on the newspaper, this movie star, she's doing a 1 apple a day lunch kind of diet, and she lost so much weight. The boys always say you're like a mountain, right? If we lose the weight, maybe you will not be a mountain anymore. So I started eating 1 apple a day for lunch. I saved a lot of money during that time, but I started eating 1 apple a day for lunch for 2-3 months straight, and I lost maybe like 10, 15 pounds. So that was my very first experience with dieting, eating 1 apple a day. And then when I was 16, I moved to the United States. So I lost that weight. 16, moved to the States, and I started the American diet. I ate all the pizza, I ate all the burger, the nachos and whatnot. Then I gained like 20, 25 pounds when I was in college. And I met someone who is not a regret right now, but like he helped me through a lot of things, but also became the problem with a lot of things. So I met someone, my ex-boyfriend, and he was my third body police. Every single day, he would tell me, I'm fat. He say, like, you're fat, you should lose weight. You will be much prettier if you lose weight. And he also say, I like girls who can have a really thin waist, really sexy. So when I have sex with you, when I look, from behind, like, hourglass shape. So I was like, okay, I should go and lose some weight again. Then I started dieting again. You name it, eating only vegetable soup for like 2 straight months, or go on like diet milkshake, those diet milkshake that you drink. Go on that for 3 months, eating nothing else, lost all those pounds, and but then gained it all back after I returned to a normal diet. Then I decided after college, I'm gonna break up with this guy. Thank you. One of the best decisions I've ever made. I broke up with him thinking that if I break up with him, I'll be away from all this body shame. However, all his ideal appearance, standard of beauty, it was all internalized in me. So I became my 4th body police. After I moved back to Hong Kong, I was still like the American diet girl, but I moved back to Hong Kong, seeing on the street how skinny everyone was. Immediately in my mind, I thought, I'm fat. I gotta lose weight. So I started dieting. So for the last 12 years of my life living in Hong Kong, it has been a roller coaster. So I would lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, got pregnant, gain weight, lose weight, and then gain weight again. I am what they are called a weight cycler. Doing all this dieting, doing all this excessive exercises, and all because there's a vicious cycle in me. So whenever I have the thought of I'm fat, something must have triggered me, right? Like I've seen like maybe someone on the magazine who is skinnier than me, or even my friend accidentally lose so much weight. I was like, I should do the same. So whenever the thought I'm fat occur, immediately I would start dieting, and then I would tell myself I need to lose weight. And then at some point the diet is successful. Oh, wow, this is working. And then also at some point, if you have been on the diet, you know that it will hit a wall. And then I blame myself. Like, why can't I keep it up? And then when you're blaming yourself and you're fulfilling all this guilt, you're just like, fuck it. I'm gonna just eat everything that I couldn't eat for the 2 months that I was on the diet. Then I regain all the weight, and then I feel so guilty, so ashamed of myself, and the trigger starts again. So for the past 12 years, it has been non-stop vicious cycling and cycling and cycling. So when the trigger occurs, I was like a hamster on a wheel, like diet, 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 diet. Okay, I'm fat. Diet, 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 diet. Okay, I'm fat. So it was nonstop of dieting, nonstop of running on the wheel. It wasn't until I was like, one day I was sitting at home. I was looking at, I'm going to show you the picture later. I was scrolling through my iPhone, and I saw a picture that I took when I was the thinnest self. And I looked at that. I look at that, and I remember that me was actually the most anxious me, and also the most self-loathing me. So I look at that phone, I look at that photo, and then the next, like maybe the universe is telling me something. So I was actually doing a master's degree in Buddhist counseling in Hong Kong U. And that night I went to school, and the teacher said something. So he was my mentor, and then he said that in that class in particular, he said, Buddhism, how it is like life philosophy and things like that. And then he said, everything hangs on intention. And then the next thing he said, nothing happens without intention. And since we're all kind of women of power and entrepreneur, and a lot of people probably had taken leadership courses here, I'm going to put it in the terms that you all may understand is intention plus action equals outcome, right? So let's say the action is all good, but then if the intention that we set was all negative, self-loathing, self-hating, then the outcome probably would not be as abundant and wholesome as we thought we would. So the teacher said with wise intention and wise action equals wise outcome and wholesome outcome. So that night I got home, I thought to myself, so what is my intention? I look at the same photo. What was my intention? Was it all from self-love? All the action, all the dieting that I did, was it from self-love, or was the intention self-loathing? So this was the picture that I took in front of my mirror. I remember I was 126 pounds, the skinniest me, from even skinnier than I was a teenager. I took that photo that day. It was the thinnest, but also I was the most self-loathing me. Because I look at that photo, after I took it, I was like, I'm not skinny enough. I gotta be more strict on my diet. And then the next day when I weighed myself, I was so anxious. Every time I step on a weight, on the scale, I'm like, please God, please be 1 pound less, please be 1 pound less, right? So that was, even I was the skinniest, I was the most self-hating Vera. And, but that, what the mentor said to me really changed my life, because when I reflect on my intention, I realized that it was all self-loathing. I was like, so how do I go on a path that is self-loving? And this is what I learned also from my Buddhist counseling course. I started implementing what they taught me in the course and develop a protocol for myself. And I call this the 3-step self-love protocol. And all it takes is 3 little steps that we all can do every single day, every single moment, actually. It's called note, know, choose. Oh, by the way, yes, that's me on the photo. Just no unsplash here. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we do the 3-step self-love protocol? So when the trigger occurs, before you take any action, we can actually do an intervention. So before, when I think I'm fat, before I go on the hamster wheel and go on diet or research about the best diet in the world, I do a little intervention. Slide in these 3 little steps before you take an action. It will be a self-loving, life-changing moment. Yeah. So note, know, choose. Let's talk about note. So note is all about building awareness. when we have a trigger, we only see the trigger or the thought in our head is like, oh, like for example, I'm using me as an example, so it's easier to understand. For me, it's I'm fat. For you, for some of you, it might be, oh, I am not pretty, I am not tall enough, I am not good, I'm not enough. But underneath all these triggers, actually, we all have bodily sensation. Remember I asked you, how does your body feel when you hear whatever body talk you talk to it? Like for me, when I think that I'm fat, when the thoughts arise, I will feel breathless, I will feel antsy, and I also feel heavy, like big, heavy. And there's always a knot in my stomach. So with being more aware of your bodily sensation, that can be done by doing meditation, more aware of how you feel, how your body feels when a thought arises. We're more in tune with our body, and we also can be more in tune with knowing when the trigger arises. And then underneath bodily sensation, there's actually feelings. So for me, when I have the thought of I'm fat, my feelings are I'm afraid that I'm not accepted. I'm also hopeless. When am I gonna be enough? When am I gonna be pretty enough for this entire world? And I also feel guilty because I'm giving up. Like I'm giving up on myself. Why can't I do what everyone can do? But underneath all these feelings are actually our needs. For me, needs in the context of this subject, it means your core value. It means what makes you feel alive. So when the feelings happens, bodily sensation happens, when the trigger happens, it's actually because some needs, some core value in you is unsatisfied, is unmet. And I did a really deep psycho-diagnosis of myself, and I realized my needs, my core value in life is acceptance, inclusion, and love. Because whenever the boys behind me telling me I'm a big mountain, actually, all I really want is them to include me as their friends. And whenever my mom telling me I'm the big ball of rice, all I want is actually for my mom to love me. So all these connected back to our needs and core value. So now with building the awareness, we take us to the next step, know. Know is about understanding why. Know that where did the thought I'm fat originally come from? Like who said it at first? Where did it happen? When did it happen? How did you react when somebody said it to you in the first time? Where are all these thoughts originated? And where are all these seeds planted in your head? And when you think about it, all our thoughts are actually seed in our mind, right? So that's also the little Buddhism coming up right here. And they always say thoughts are like seed, and you are the one who decides whether you want to water it or not. So now that you know where the thoughts originate come from, whoever were your body police before or how it came to be, you can decide whether you want to water this seed or not, because the power is in your hand. And the next questions that you can ask is that the only, for me, is the dieting or is doing excessive exercise, is it the only way to meet my need, to meet my core value? You can still answer yes, but I guess for most of us it's probably not, right? So underneath it all, underneath my trigger, I am fat, at the bottom is I'm actually craving for, what motivates me in life is acceptance, inclusion, and love, right? So is dieting, becoming thinner, or becoming skinnier the only way or the ultimate way for me to find acceptance, inclusiveness, and love? That's the questions that I always ask myself when my trigger comes up. So which leads us to the next step, choose. Choose is about living your value. What is your core value? Like for me, it was acceptance, inclusive, and love, right? Think about what your core value is, because that's important. Because we always say self-love is, like a lot of people assume that it's a destination. Like once arrive in the self-love heaven, I'm gonna be happy, no self-hating, all body loving, me, right? But actually self-love is a journey. So where does this journey leading us? It's all leading us to living our life, fulfilling us, and also living with our core, like living our life with our core value. So make sure you know what your core value is, and also think about the action you take. Does it really align with your core value? Is it building the life that you want? And also, before you make a choice, before we do the action, ask yourself this: is this really your choice, a conscious choice, or is it your boyfriend's choice telling you to get skinny, or your mom's choice telling you not to eat this, or what the society is telling you to do? So this is a little demonstration. So when a trigger occurs, we do the note, we do the no, and now we do the choose. Choose, you can either choose an action that takes you away from living the life or becoming the who you want to be, or you can choose living a life, or choose the action that leads you towards the life, towards the who you want to be, right? So let's say oh, now it's stuck. Okay. For me, when I'm fat, the trigger occurs. I do the note. I notice my body is tense. I notice I'm feeling a little breathless. And I also know that all this is because all the body police that I encounter, all the social media that I have watched, all the magazine, all the diet news that I've seen on the newspaper. And then I now can choose. I can choose either going on extreme diet, right, going on the hamster wheel again, or I can choose to do life-enhancing movement. I can do more intuitive eating habits. I can choose the methods and the actions that really nourish myself. So remember, we all have a choice. Trigger, action, but slide in the self-love 3-step protocol in it. Note, no, choose. So whenever something occurs, this can be applied to everyday life situation as well, right? When my daughter is screaming, having a tantrum, I was like, no, choose, no, choose, no, choose, right? I can choose to beat her up, but I can also choose to be the kind mother that I am and let her know that I understand your emotion, right? So we can all take these 3 little steps every single day. And at last, I'm gonna leave you with a few quotes that I really love. First, self-love is not a destination, it's a journey. And building positive relationship with our body is also not a goal. It's actually everyday, daily choices. And that's it.